Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins have made a significant roster move early in the season, announcing that veteran guard James Daniels has been placed on injured reserve. This development comes as somewhat of a blow to the Dolphins' offensive line depth, as Daniels was expected to be a key contributor in protecting Tua Tagovailoa and anchoring the interior of the line. The move wasn't entirely unexpected, considering Daniels sustained a pectoral injury in Week 1, which had already sidelined him and prompted concerns about how long it would take for him to return to full action. Initially, reports indicated that Daniels would be out for 3 to 4 weeks, but by officially placing him on IR, the Dolphins are committing to him missing at least 4 games, which is the minimum requirement before he can be activated again. This timeline is critical for the Dolphins, who are entering a stretch of the season where offensive line stability could make or break their chances in close games. James Daniels, now 27 years old, has carved out a solid reputation in the NFL over the past several years. Drafted in the second round of the 2018 NFL Draft by the Chicago Bears, Daniels quickly demonstrated the skill set that teams look for in a modern interior lineman, a combination of agility, strength, and football intelligence that allows him to handle both run and pass-blocking responsibilities. His rookie contract with the Bears was a 4-year deal worth $6.9 million, including nearly $4 million guaranteed, which reflected the organization's confidence in his potential to become a cornerstone of their offensive line. Daniels lived up to much of that potential, steadily improving his game each season and proving himself as a reliable and versatile player, capable of stepping into multiple roles along the line as needed. His journey from a promising rookie to a sought-after free agent is a testament to his work ethic and consistency. After his rookie deal concluded, Daniels entered free agency with solid credentials, and it was the Pittsburgh Steelers who quickly saw his value and signed him to a 3-year, $26 million contract in 2022. This deal included a significant commitment from the Steelers, highlighting Daniels' rising stock in the league. During his time with Pittsburgh, Daniels continued to excel, and his performance metrics underscored his impact. In the 2024 season, despite appearing in only 4 games for the Steelers, he made 4 starts at guard and earned high praise from evaluators, including Pro Football Focus, which rated him as the number 1 guard out of 64 qualifying players. This ranking is no small feat, as it placed him above many of the league's top-tier interior linemen, showcasing his technique, consistency, and ability to handle high-level competition week in and week out. Daniels' presence on any offensive line immediately elevates its performance, particularly in terms of both pass protection and run-blocking efficiency. This offseason, Daniels became an unrestricted free agent once again, and his services were quickly secured by the Miami Dolphins with a 3-year, $24 million deal. The move was widely celebrated by Dolphins fans and analysts alike, as Daniels was expected to bring veteran leadership and proven talent to a line that had shown vulnerability in past seasons. Signing Daniels was part of a broader strategy by the Dolphins to solidify the offensive line around Tua Tagovailoa, providing him with the protection necessary to thrive in a league where interior pressure can derail even the most talented quarterbacks. The Dolphins envisioned Daniels as not just a starter, but as a cornerstone around whom the line could be built, particularly in high-stakes divisional matchups and potential playoff scenarios. His versatility and experience made him a natural fit for a team aiming to balance youth and experience along the offensive front. The timing of Daniels' injury, however, presents a challenge for Miami. Losing a player of his caliber, even for a few games, forces the coaching staff to adjust both schemes and personnel. Offensive line depth can be deceptively fragile in the NFL, and the Dolphins will now need to rely on backups or less experienced players to step up in Daniels' absence. This can lead to mismatches against defensive fronts, especially in a division where speed and pressure from the interior are abundant. While the Dolphins have talent along the line, the chemistry and timing that Daniels brings cannot be easily replicated, and even a temporary absence can ripple through both run and pass game efficiency. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how Miami navigates this period, as early season line issues can have outsized impacts on a team's overall trajectory. Daniels' track record suggests that, once healthy, he will return to form and resume being one of the league's most reliable guards. His combination of physical tools and football IQ makes him an anchor in any blocking scheme, and his presence typically allows the skill positions around him to perform at a higher level. For Tua Tagovailoa, having Daniels back on the line could mean a marked difference in terms of pocket time, protection against interior pass rush, and run game continuity. It's also worth noting that Daniels brings leadership to the locker room, which is invaluable for both veteran and younger teammates. His experience navigating multiple systems and performing under pressure provides a stabilizing presence, particularly for a Dolphins squad that has playoff aspirations and needs steady leadership in key positions. The news of Daniels being placed on injured reserve also sparks a broader discussion about the Dolphins' roster construction and depth strategy. Teams in today's NFL must anticipate injuries, particularly along the offensive line, where physical wear and tear is constant and the risk of injuries is always high. The Dolphins' decision to act decisively with Daniels' placement on IR reflects an understanding of both league rules and player health, prioritizing recovery while maintaining roster flexibility. This approach allows the team to sign or promote a temporary replacement without rushing Daniels back prematurely, which could risk further injury and longer-term consequences. Balancing immediate needs with long-term player health is a delicate task, and the Dolphins appear to be handling this with prudence. As Daniels begins his recovery, fans will be eager to see how quickly he can return to the field and make an impact. His career trajectory suggests that when fully healthy, he will continue to perform at a top-tier level, providing the Dolphins with a stabilizing force in their quest for division dominance and postseason success. While the short-term loss is certainly felt, the long-term outlook remains promising, and Daniels' presence on the roster ensures that Miami retains one of the league's most talented interior linemen once he is back from injury. The next few weeks will test the depth of the Dolphins' offensive line and the adaptability of their coaching staff, but with James Daniels back, Miami is well-positioned to regain its full strength and pursue its goals for the season with confidence. In the broader context of the NFL, Daniels' situation is a reminder of how crucial elite guards are to team success. Players like him don't just block defenders, they anchor in offense, set the tone for the line, and create opportunities for skilled players to excel. The Dolphins' investment in Daniels reflects a league-wide recognition of the premium on interior linemen who can perform at a high level consistently. For fans, analysts, and teammates, his absence is noticeable, but his eventual return promises to reinforce the team's foundation and elevate the performance of everyone around him. Miami's handling of this situation demonstrates both strategic foresight and a commitment to keeping their roster competitive, even in the face of early season adversity. As the season progresses, keeping an eye on James Daniels' recovery and eventual return to the lineup will be one of the most compelling storylines for the Dolphins and their fans. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The NFL has once again found itself at the center of controversy, and this time the focus is on the Miami Dolphins. What should have been a period of preparation, optimism, and excitement for the franchise has now been clouded by a wave of criticism, anger, and disbelief. The league's latest decision to punish the Dolphins has sparked outrage not only among the fan base in Miami, but also across the wider NFL community, as many are calling this move an unnecessary and even absurd overreach by the league's governing body. Instead of letting the team focus on football, instead of letting the players and coaches build momentum for what was shaping up to be one of their most promising seasons in recent history, the NFL has chosen to intervene with a heavy hand, leaving everyone wondering, was this punishment really justified, or are the Dolphins simply being made an example of? To fully understand the gravity of this situation, you need to look at the context surrounding Miami in recent years. The Dolphins have been building something special, working tirelessly to get back into the conversation as legitimate contenders. With a combination of draft strategy, player development, and bold moves in free agency, the front office had positioned the team to finally step out of the shadows of the division and go head-to-head with the best in the AFC. Fans had been buzzing with hope, and analysts were cautiously optimistic. Yet right when everything seemed to be aligning, the NFL decided to step in and issue a punishment that has thrown the entire project into turmoil. This wasn't just a fine. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was the type of decision that cuts into the future of the franchise, making it harder for Miami to compete at the highest level. And for what? That's the question that everyone is asking. The league's reasoning, at least in their official statement, sounded clinical and detached, as though they were simply enforcing rules without considering the larger impact. But the reality is that the punishment feels disproportionate. The Dolphins are being hit in ways that could affect draft capital, organizational reputation, and even player morale. Losing draft picks is not just about losing numbers on a piece of paper. Draft picks are the lifeblood of any team's future, the way franchises build sustained success and replenish talent. To strip a team of those opportunities is to sabotage years of planning and to diminish the faith of fans who have been patient through cycles of mediocrity. And yet, that is exactly what the NFL has decided to do. To add insult to injury, fines were also issued, draining resources that could have been invested back into the team's infrastructure. It's not just a punishment, it's a message, but the message feels distorted and heavy-handed. When word of the decision spread, it wasn't just Dolphins fans who were outraged. Across social media, analysts, former players, and even fans of rival teams voiced skepticism about whether the NFL was being fair. Many pointed to other incidents around the league, situations where punishments were lighter despite more glaring violations. Why, then, did the Dolphins get hit so hard? Why does it feel like Miami is being singled out? The perception of double standards has always been a sore spot in the NFL's disciplinary history, and this incident has only reignited that debate. It's not just about one team anymore. It's about trust in the league's ability to apply justice evenly. And right now, that trust feels broken. The Dolphins organization itself has responded with a mix of professionalism and frustration. Publicly, they've maintained composure, acknowledging the league's decision while making it clear they don't agree with the severity of the punishment. Behind closed doors, however, you can imagine the level of anger and disappointment. Executives who spent years carefully planning every move of the rebuild must feel like all their work is being undone by forces beyond their control. Coaches who are trying to rally the locker room are now forced to answer questions that have nothing to do with football. Players, too, must be asking themselves what it means to play for a franchise that's constantly battling uphill against not only their opponents, but also the very league that governs them. These ripple effects matter, because when frustration festers, it can fracture team chemistry in ways that no one sees coming. What makes this situation even more difficult to swallow is the timing. This wasn't a punishment handed out during the offseason when teams have time to adjust and recalibrate. No, this comes in the thick of preparation, when distractions can derail focus and momentum. It feels almost intentional, as though the league wanted to make an example out of Miami, right when their rise to prominence was starting to become undeniable. Fans have been quick to point this out, accusing the NFL of trying to keep certain teams in their place while protecting others. Whether or not that's true, the perception itself is powerful, and it fuels the narrative that the Dolphins are being treated unfairly. The impact on fans cannot be understated. Miami supporters have endured decades of waiting, hoping for a return to glory. They've stayed loyal through countless rebuilds, quarterback experiments, and false dawns. Just when it felt like the team had turned a corner, the league comes crashing down with a punishment that takes the wind out of their sails. How do you explain to fans that the dream they've been chasing might be delayed, not because of performance on the field, but because of decisions made in a boardroom? This is why so many are calling the punishment absurd. It disconnects the game from the fans, punishing those who have nothing to do with the infractions. The people paying for tickets, wearing jerseys, and chanting in the stadiums are the ones who feel the sting most directly. And let's not ignore the psychological warfare this creates within the division. Rivals in the AFC East are surely looking at this decision with a grin, knowing that Miami will be handicapped going forward. Losing draft capital and facing financial penalties can tilt the balance of power, giving other teams a clearer path to dominance. It's not far-fetched to think that the timing and severity of this punishment could alter the competitive landscape for years to come. That's the magnitude we're talking about here. Not just a fine, not just a sanction, but a seismic shift in how the Dolphins are able to compete. The big question now is, where does Miami go from here? Do they rally together, using this punishment as fuel to prove everyone wrong? Or do they crumble under the weight of frustration and disillusionment? History has shown us that great teams often emerge from adversity stronger than ever, but it has also shown us that unfair decisions can derail even the most promising projects. The Dolphins have the talent, the leadership, and the vision to rise above this, but the road just got significantly harder. The NFL may have wanted to send a message, but in doing so, they've set the stage for a story of resilience or collapse. Only time will tell which path Miami takes. For now, what's clear is that this punishment has sent shockwaves through the NFL. Fans are questioning fairness, players are questioning loyalty, and everyone is questioning the league's judgment. The Dolphins may be the ones directly punished, but the implications extend far beyond Miami. This is about how the NFL wields its power, how it chooses to enforce its rules, and whether or not it values consistency over spectacle. Right now, the league has opened itself up to criticism that it cannot easily deflect. And until answers come, the narrative will remain. The punishment of the Dolphins was absurd, heavy-handed, and perhaps even damaging to the integrity of the sport itself. The storm around this decision is not going away anytime soon, and if anything, it's only growing louder. Fans are angry, players are frustrated, and pundits are lining up to question the NFL's motives. The Dolphins have been punished, yes, but in doing so, the league may have punished itself by once again showing the cracks in its own system of justice. And in the court of public opinion, that may prove to be the harshest sentence of all. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.